response to your question, the answer is no. I cannot regret something that I've never desired. She literally asked me if I regretted my decision of being child-free. Hey people, a very warm welcome back or to another video. Sometimes in life we think that we've missed out on something, and this can be with absolutely anything. You can feel like you've missed out with friends, a partner, a potential job opportunity, but then a couple of years go by and suddenly you get this clarity like, damn, I just missed a fucking bullet. And that is literally what happened to me back in very early 2023. I used to be in touch with a PR expert and we actually became good friends. Like, we would talk quite often and she would tell me about all these opportunities, and she was kind of like a middleman, if you will, where she used to put people in touch with journalists and anyone in the media so that they can run articles and stuff like that. They were looking for child-free women and they wanted them to talk about their experiences of living a child-free life, what it's like, how society responds to you, you know, any troubles that we may have, etc. So I thought to myself, well, that literally sounds perfect. So I sent all my details towards this person and I messaged my PR friend on Facebook and I was like, look, this is the company that's reached out to me. This is the contact. Do you know them? Are they legit? She confirmed. She was like, I know these people. I've heard of them. I know of such and such person. She literally named the person I emailed and I was like, okay, all the green flags so far. This is perfect. They reached out. They were like, right, these are the bullet points we want you to talk about. If you can just write it in your own words and then we'll edit accordingly. Just before I wrote it out, I said to them, I'm going to work with you on one condition. And that is like, do not mince my words. Do not twist my words. Do not write it out in a way for rage bait or clickbait, which were my suspicions. Whatever happens, do not twist my fucking words. And they were like, absolutely. When we edit it, we're going to resend it back to you and you can read through it and you can give us the green light whether you like it or not. And at the time, I was really looking for a lot of growth, not just on my social media pages, but my YouTube growth and everything like that. I really kind of was holding on to that one thing that was going to really help boost my social media presence. I poured my heart into this article. I wrote honestly. I just let the words come out on the page. I still have this piece of writing stored away somewhere and I came across it the other day, and actually I'm so glad it didn't run. I wouldn't have wanted it to be out there because I could write something so much better right now. Like, my writing has improved so much. In fact, I'm going to use this piece and I'm going to put it in my book when that comes out. I sent it over to them and she was like, right, we'll let you know when it's placed. I'm going to send it to my editor, let them have a look at it. Days go by, nothing, absolutely nothing. I check in like, hey, how's the story going? When is it going to run live? She was like, yeah, it's not really being placed. Like, no one's really picking it up because basically what she was saying is like, it's not interesting. Well, the title's not really clickbaity and we do need people to click on it. And I said, okay, I understand that. I do understand how media works. I understand how journalism works. I understand you need clicks. I get the way that things are written in the media. They're written with a lot of exaggeration. It's oftentimes really fucking wrong what they're saying, and it's written in a way to spark a response from people. So they want people talking about things, they want people getting angry about things, they want people getting upset and triggered. I also wanted it to not be like I'm just poking a bear. You know what I'm saying? Because this to me is just childish. Like, why are we doing this? We're not in school, we're adults here. I had my suspicions that the story wasn't going to place because I haven't made it clickbaity enough. A whole year went by and I just left it. And I honestly just forgot about it. I put it to the corner of my mind and I was like, fuck this. It wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. Just move on. One revision that they did want me to make was that they wanted me to edit a lot of the article so that it could sound a bit more rage-filled, if you will. So it would stir up a little bit more of a reaction in the reader. And I didn't want that because I didn't see the point in just posting stuff to get people riled up. As a child-free woman, I already piss people off in society just by not doing the status quo. I already piss people off by not being a trad wife. I already piss people off because I've chosen not to do what's expected of me as a female. So why am I then going to further go and stir the pot? Because already my existence is triggering for enough people. I don't need to do anything and people are still pissed off. If you've seen a lot of child-free content out there across the social media platforms, you'll see that a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time is pretty innocent. It's just people being like, oh, this is what I managed to do because I was child free. I managed to go back to uni and get a degree. I managed to go back to medical school. I managed to travel solo. You know, I love my single life. I managed to adopt loads of cats and dogs. These are all simple things, but it makes people explode with rage already. So I didn't really want to go and poke that fire because I didn't see it was necessary. And one of the sentences I remember her saying to me in the email, she said to me, "Is anyone in your life jealous of you? Can you write about them?" And I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not doing that. First and foremost, I don't even know if there is anyone who's jealous of me in my immediate circle that I'm aware of. I would fucking hope not, because jealous people are not nice to be around. So I really hope that isn't the case. Secondly, why would they be jealous of me? I feel like I live a really normal life. Like, I just don't feel like there's anything there to be jealous of. Right, okay, I've chosen to be child free. Yeah, and it doesn't mean my life is perfect. It doesn't mean I'm always happy. It doesn't mean everything in my life runs smoothly, because it fucking doesn't. I can assure you that much. So it was just this, she was constantly trying to get something out of me that I was gonna like piss people off, or she wanted me to make parents jealous of me. So I refused. I was like, look, absolutely fucking not. I'm not doing that. I was like, just forget the story. If it's not placing, then it wasn't meant to be. I'm not here gonna be playing back and forth with you. And again, I've said to you in the beginning, I don't want my words being twisted, and here you are trying to fucking twist them. But you're trying to get me to twist them so you can turn around and say, oh, you said that, not us. Fast forward a whole year and I'm in bed in March 2025, and I get an email pop up from this contact that I was speaking to last year. And they were like, "Hi, it's been a long time since we've checked in. Just wanted to see how you're doing. We've found a fit for your story. Do you want us to run it? Just give us the heads up, and we can run through the last final details, if anything needs editing, and we can run the story." I was like, whoa, hold on a fucking minute, because I haven't heard from you in literally 12 months. I've forgotten all about it. I buried it. And now I'm in bed dealing with the worst mental burnout that I've ever experienced in my life, and you suddenly want to run this story. Like, it's a bad time. I noticed in one of the questions she asked, she just said, oh, we want to just go over a few details and update anything that's changed. One of the things we want to know that's changed is, have you regretted not having kids so far, and do you change your mind? This woman must have been thinking, oh, do you know what? She's got to have changed her mind by now. I think it was a month shy of my 37th birthday. She must have thought to herself, maybe she's actually popped a kid out. Maybe she's pregnant, and we can run the story that last year she was telling us all of this blah, blah, blah about what she gets up to in her child-free life and how she knew she didn't want kids, and now she's expecting her first baby. I knew deep down that they thought they might have a little story there. I'm actually going to put the screenshot here because I read through this email just the other day. I literally said to her, in response to your question, the answer is no. I cannot regret something that I've never desired. She literally asked me if I regretted my decision of being child-free. And I say this to anybody who even thinks about going there. I cannot regret something I've never desired. I don't regret not going to university because the desire was never there. I don't regret not becoming a banker or an accountant because I've never wanted to do those jobs in my life. How is it that someone can regret something that they literally do not desire? You cannot tell people they are going to regret something they physically have no desire to do. It just makes my mind boggle every single time. When I was single as well, they were like, don't you want to settle down? Oh, you're missing out. And I'd be like, what do you mean missing out? Like, I haven't been married before, so I don't understand what I'm meant to be allegedly missing out on. You can't miss something you haven't physically experienced. I was like, look, I'm going through some difficult personal circumstances right now with my mental health, and this is not a good time anyway. I don't want the story to run because, like I said, I'm not in the right mental space. I'm not afraid to talk about my struggles with my mental health. I don't know why I have to back away from saying that because I'm allegedly meant to have everything okay with me just because I don't have the stress of parenting. That is a load of bullshit. And this is another thing that child-free people get misunderstood about constantly, is that just because you don't have kids, you don't have any struggles in your life. You don't get tired. You don't have money worries. You don't stress about food and bills and work, etc. We stress about every fucking thing. And a lot of the time, the reason we're child free in the first place is because we already understand the life stress and how deeply disturbing this planet actually really is. And we don't want to have another person suffer. I say to people all the time, my kids are tucked away in my ovaries because they're not suffering. I refuse to bring them here to suffer. I don't want to see them suffer. I don't want to see them have to lose people, have to be bullied potentially. I don't want to see them become a bully potentially. If you're a parent watching this, we do indeed have our own struggles. Now, you might see a lot of stuff online where it looks like somebody's showing off, and you know what? Maybe they are. But either way, they have a right to do that. It's their social media platform. If they want to show off their Ferraris or their 5-star hotels or whatever it is, their champagne lifestyle, let them just do it. That's their business. If you don't want to follow them, don't fucking follow them. But a lot of child-free people, the ones that I've spoken to especially, a lot of them say, I don't even know where you guys get the money from because I live alone and I'm struggling to pay my bills. So that is not the reality all the time. That's what gets picked up by social media algorithms because it looks aesthetically pleasing and we know it's going to warrant a reaction. That is why a lot of them do it. We understand how this works. However, I would say a vast majority of child-free people, they just want peace and quiet. They deal with their own work stresses. They may have really stressful family dynamics. They might have insomnia, so they don't sleep well. They might have autoimmune diseases that you don't even know about or have heard about. Either way, they're probably battling struggles that nobody would ever know about because all they can see is somebody who doesn't have kids. So all they can see in their view is, oh, this person must have such an easy life because they just don't have kids. And that could not be further from the truth. I think there's always going to be this, parent child free kind of rift or divide. And I am writing an article on it at the moment because I think it just pisses me off still. Certain things that I read online about how parents are better at this and mothers are better at that. And when you become a mother, you become better at this. And if you don't become a mother, then you're never going to really be mature or you're never really going to understand patience and unconditional love. That kind of fucking narrative needs to fucking stop. Most importantly, it's going to be on my terms and it's going to be in my voice and no one's going to edit it to sound clickbaity or to sound like AI's written it or to sound like somebody's dumbed it down so that I sound dumb or so that I sound bitter. I may accidentally even post a few of my paragraphs or a few little sentences that might be in my book, who knows. If you've joined this far, thank you so much for staying and for listening and for your support. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a massive thumbs up. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out.